Hey guys, Thor's X, and we're back. So, what are we going to do today? Well, I decided that we're going to go ahead and do some 44 special. All the necks have been flared on these. They've been cleaned. I mean, they're nice and clean down in there. I'll tell you what, that wet tumbling sure does a good job. We're going to be installing large pistol primers, Winchesters. I've got a bunch of these. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be loading it with Bullseye. Okay? So, anyway, so we'll get to priming on these. I'll tell you what, I bought this primer seeder years ago, and I really quite honestly think that this was one of the last good ones that were out there. There's a lot of primer seeders that are out there now. This one just seems to always work. You know, it takes a shell holder, and you got to shake them every once in a while. To get them to fall down in there, but it gives a good feel. Doesn't damage. So anyway, what I want to show you guys is that what we're going to be loading is some of these 200 grain 44 round nose flat points. Now, I have never really gotten good luck with these so far. They fall out of the they fall out of the mold at like 428 or something like that. I think that the mold is actually a 428 mold. So they're slightly undersized. Now, I've sized these, and believe it or not, these are like 429, 430. So maybe it's just the material I made them out of or whatever. I mean, they expanded or whatever when they were cooling or that sort of thing. Well, we'll see. And I'm just going to go ahead and put together a target load, of about 4.5 grains of Bullseye. That'll propel that along probably right in that 45 ACP, velocity. So anyway, when I get ready to go and start measuring powder, we'll be back. Okay guys, we're all set up. Let's go ahead and throw some powder. So I've got both of these on, and this one's going to turn off before too long, so I want to throw something on there to make it think it's still doing something. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and throw some powder here. I went and adjusted this to 4.5 grains of Bullseye. And we're going to throw it on here. And that's registering just a little bit under. Let's see what this says. Bingo, 4.5. And with this, 4.4. 4.5. 4.5. Now let's try this again. One of the things that I really need to do is I need to take this table and take it apart and get into this with some bed frames and cut the bed frames in a way so where I have support going in towards the middle of the bench, because this bench is really wobbly this way, and so I try not to do any of adjustments there. I try not to touch the table at all. It's actually a really heavy duty table. I mean, this is, I got this for free. I went down to this outfit down the road from me, and it's a manufacturing place, and they had this sitting out there, and it just said free. So I'll take it. Yeah. So let's go ahead and re-zero here on this and see if we can get it back to where we need to go. This is where OCD sets in, and I can barely see those numbers anymore. That's why it's kind of nice to have these backlit little scales. Okay, that's 0. Let's see how that goes. Yeah, so we're a little bit over. So let's take that up a little bit to 0. And down a little bit right there. And a little bit more. There we go. Yeah. Alright, let's see what this does. Oh, gotta make sure that we're back on 4.5. I'm going to put it on that guy because he'll think that he's doing something. That's one thing about Johnny. Johnny said that a scale at 0 wants to stay at 0. And also these little scales, the ones that are auto off, they will turn off on you, and the next thing you know, you're right back. Okay, there's 7, 6, and 5. So let's see how this goes. Yeah, we're just a tad over, and you know what's funny? I just took it off this scale, and this scale said 4.6. And what does this scale say? 4.7. Ooh. So let's, I don't know if I'm just torturing myself here because I'm like going around in a circle with these guys. Now that one's definitely over. So let's see what that says. That's 4.7. That's 4.7. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a little bit of a powder adjustment here. Alright, here we go. Now that looks like a tad over 4.5. So let's put it on here. 4.6. 4.8. 4.8. 4.7. 4.7. So let's adjust the powder measure a little bit more. You know, this powder measure that I'm using is, you know, they haven't made it for 30 years. It's a old Duoflow that was handed down to me. And, you know, I'm going to tell you what, I have loaded, oh, this has had its workout, believe me. Definitely has, you know, got my money's worth. There's 4.5. There's 4.5. And right on the money. 4.5. I mean, so we've got the little Trueway, which I really like. I like this little Trueway because of the display, and all the buttons are all like at an angle so you can see what you're doing. The old tried and true here with the Woaow, you got to kind of stand over it a little bit, and, you know, to read the numbers. But it's an excellent little scale. 4.5. I mean, and the pickup on this is really nice. I mean, when you go ahead and put your powder down there, boom, you're there. So anyway, so there we are. I'm going to go ahead and charge these cases, and I'm going to start loading. But I wanted to just go ahead and demonstrate the scales. I like this little Trueway one the best out of all of them. Now I tried the Brifit, and the Brifit has that, you know, hundredths of grains thing going on with it, and that kind of drives me nuts. And so, you know, it works. It's a great scale and everything. However, you know, if you got a little OCD thing going on, that's always gonna screw with you, and you're always gonna try to get it perfect. So I would strongly suggest that you don't buy that one. But the Trueway is really good, and if you got the Woaow, I mean this little scale right here is just bulletproof. I mean, it really is. I mean, that little scale is just awesome. But this is just as good. Doesn't cost as less as that, but I think those days are gone, guys. You know, I'm thinking that Johnny is actually doing us a disservice, because what happens is that he comes out with a video with a shootout, okay, with reloading gear, okay, so, or a shootout with certain bullets and stuff, which is fine. But the thing is, though, is that, see, those companies are smart, and those Amazon sellers are smart, and what they do is they watch Johnny, and they see if it starts picking up. You know, people throughout the country are starting to, go on Amazon and picking up the stuff that he recommends, so they boost the price up. Or what they do is they have a stockpile of them, and then they say they're out of them or whatever, and then they re-release them in a month, and they even have them for twice as much. So it's kind of a supply and demand thing. So like I said, Johnny might be doing us a disservice. Not saying that's what's going on, but I could see where that could happen. So, anyway, so this is Thorzak's, and I'm going to get these loaded and get them pressed into these cases. 44 special, just a nice target round. You can shoot this out of your Smith 29. We'll see if the bullet is really up to it, though. I haven't been really impressed with that round nose, flat nose 200 grain. I don't know why. It just doesn't seem to do the trick. I've made these are 200 grain, wad cutters, full wad cutters, and they shoot really good. And if you got, if you got the material, don't waste it on something that is, subpar. I mean, once you shoot these and they go into the embankment, if you don't have a bullet trap, that's just money down the drain. You know what I mean? I mean, you've tried them in your different pistols, you tried them at different velocities, you tried them at different, and if they don't improve in the way of accuracy, then don't shoot this anymore. Don't shoot these anymore. Give it up. You know what I mean? Go ahead and don't use that mold anymore, and cast something that is accurate and something that you're going to be happy with, and you'll save yourself a lot of frustration. You can't make a bullet shoot good that's just a bad design. And I'll tell you something. Throughout the history of bullet casting, that's been kind of the MO. You see there are certain ones that guys use that shoot really well, okay, and then there are guys that go out and buy ones that are these kind of ones that they've added to their inventory that don't shoot as well. And it's almost like the companies that make these molds will make a certain amount of really good molds, but then they'll also put out there a bunch of designs that's garbage, and that's kind of the way I feel about it, because what they want to do is they want to sell the ones that sell, and the only ways that they can sell the ones that are going to sell is also have ones that aren't not quite as good. In other words, I tried the Lyman such and such, and it didn't shoot as well as the Lyman such and such over here. So everybody's going to go over there and they're going to buy this one, because this one is the one that the guy had luck with. And so a good way to cut through all that is look what long range silhouette shooters that use cast bullets, look at what they use. Look at what they use, and those guys are no dummies. Okay, they're gonna pick bullets that shoot extremely well. So those are the molds you should buy. If you're gonna cast bullets. The rest of it, like these, can end up being a waste of money. You know what I mean? You're wasting your lead. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your time casting them. You're just. you know, it's money down the drain as far as I'm concerned. You're going to waste your time going out there shooting them. You're going to waste your time cleaning your gun afterwards. You know, so anyway, that's my thoughts. I can get off my rant here. Maybe I had a little bit too much coffee. So anyway, that's my demonstration today. I'm going to get done here, and I'll tell you what, guys. I'll see you in the next video.